What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. Now, today we're talking about the film Castle Freak. It's available on video on demand now and also on the Shudder app. And this film, so it is a sort of a, I guess you can almost say a reimagined version of its 1995 version of it, which I'm not familiar with. I did not see it. I have to say that just out of just guessing here, that's probably why all the aesthetics of the film is the way it is. It's just trying to pay homage to the original, still trying to keep it as an old school horror film and not really modernize it too much that it feels like a completely different film. Because like a lot about this film really comes off to me very cheesy, very old school in the aesthetics, and like even with some of the how some of the visuals and some of the cinematography, you can tell that like it's not like at a point you kind of wonder like, is it just like a really big indie film, or is it actually trying to really portray this aesthetic? So that's kind of like the gist of it going into it, because like throughout the film, like like there's things that you start to kind of question about, like what's the audience here? Are you looking for the old school horror film, or like are you trying to gravitate and to please the new audience here? And then like the third phase is completely goes haywire, and it just doesn't even matter at that point. But anyway, what this film is about, so Rebecca, she's permanently blind from this tragic car accident because of her douchebag boyfriend John, who's like clearly an opportunist. And amongst all this happening, she's trying to really like cope with life now she's blind, and it's a scary thing for her. But at the same time too, she finds out some really bizarre news. She finds out that her long lost mother recently passed away, and now she's now coming to claim of of her property, which is not just the regular house, but it's a ancestral castle. It's like she went from like not knowing her mom to like, yeah, by the way, she left you something. She left you a house. And they get there, it's like, oh wait, this isn't a house, this is a whole castle. But at the same time, while at this castle, well, Rebecca is trying to really connect with her past, trying to really, connect and learn more about her mother and the origins of her family. But at the same time, too, she finds out that her family and the history is tied to, well, this really mysterious creature that is in the walls of this castle, who is shall I say, a horny creature who's a peeping Tom, who's just at every little corner, just looking through a hole, keeping an eye out on who does what and when inside of the castle wall. So Castle Freak. Very, very short and simple there. But to kind of be a little bit precise here with things, like, yeah, the production does feel like very indie. But again, maybe that's because that's what it's trying to do. Maybe it's trying to really keep pay homage to the 1995 version. Probably add a few bit of twist within the plot. But as far as the status, I mean, it just looks like it to a T. I mean, even, the titles screen looks, old school horror film way. But I guess for me, like, even with you doing that, I thought like the costume design, especially with the monster, the Castle Freak, I thought it was just kind of like whatever. But there was some super gory scenes I thought actually were really pretty good. So, but along with that too, I felt like the acting was pretty terrible, to be honest, and not like at all practical in any way. Like I felt like some of the dialogue and the situations was just, it didn't suffice with the severity of what was happening in some of these scenes. So like it kind of threw me off a little bit. And like I like Jake Horowitz, who was in The Vast of Nights, who plays the boyfriend in this, who's the opportunist here and the douchebag. Like I liked his character, I liked his acting, but like even that was an issue for me because I felt like he was good in this role, but nothing else complimented it. And Rebecca was played by Clair. I liked her in certain situations in this, but because of her being blind, I felt like maybe the script might have been an issue for her at times, because like it didn't give the character too much, and like there was some things that just was not practical at all to me, to somebody who was newly blind. Like, yeah, I think about this now. The castle is definitely not at by any means accessible for her, and she's just maneuvering all like it's just all good. And then like the continuity between them actually being in a relationship, and sure he's supposed to be a douche or whatever, but like there was just a lot of things that just felt off to me, and I don't feel like that kind of threw me out the film as much. I just felt like overall the movie was just strange, and it was just hard for me to really get interested into it. Yeah, here's the thing with this: when films get remade, especially films from like this duration, there's always like a cult audience and a cult following. And I think that for the people who like the 1995 version may truly, truly love this because I think it's probably got to be right on par with how the original were because like, again, it just, nothing about this feels really modern. So I'm guessing that it's just some form of an updated version of the 99 version, but not stepping too far ahead that it just feels like a completely different movie. So, I mean, at least that's just my opinion of it. But like I said, I think the movie's almost about 2 hours. Here's the thing. Up until like the last 20 minutes, I was just like just coasting time. But the last 20 minutes I thought was like definitely enjoyable because I felt like the gore got better. I think it switched from a horror film to more of an action film. But yeah, there's a monster penis that occurs, and I just cannot explain to you at all how that makes sense. But there's that. And then there's the last 5 minutes where everything seemed to just get to be really entertaining till it just got completely out of hand and very strange. And the CGI got crazy and it just was all over the place. But I can promise you this, if you somehow make it to the last 5 minutes of this film and you don't laugh, then I don't know what to say to you because I could not laugh at how bizarre things got at the final moments of the film. And then it just cut off. So like, yeah, it definitely leaves you on like I mean, I feel like when I say a cliffhanger, that makes you think like, oh, well, I can't wait to see what's next. So maybe it's one of those like cliffhangers where you actually kind of jump off yourself and you just kind of like, well, that's it, and that's what the film did. So, but I don't know. I really don't know what to say. Like to the point that like maybe check out the film because like maybe this is a particular subgenre within horror that some people may enjoy. I'm not really. I do like old school horrors, but I like old school horrors that are modern. I like when you can keep the feel of the old school horror, but like using available technology or like making the acting and giving the script more depth so that the acting can be better and you can let some of the really talented actors and actresses really do what they do best. I feel like, sometimes people say, well, I want to keep it original. I want to keep it old school. And then they make everything so old school that I think it's just in a competitive world right now, especially in the streaming services, I think it just will get overlooked because it's just not going to be, I just don't think that audience is big enough to really gravitate to a lot of people or to bring new people in. So, and I hope I'm not being like super critical in this film because like, it's really I shouldn't probably be spending that much time into it. So, but I mean, I think it's just the message that needs to be said is that Castle Freak is a film that I thought I thought actually the synopsis actually sounded really interesting as well too. But overall, I think first of all, I felt like the movie was just way too longer than it should have been. And then again, luckily the last 20 minutes actually went into another direction that started to really make it enjoyable because the plot was just kind of just coasting. But other than that, I mean, it just didn't do a lot for me. So, but anyway, check it out. It's available now on the Shudder app. You have the Shudder app. It's obviously free with your subscription. And if you don't, then it's available on video on demand and digitally now. So definitely let me know in the comments if you've already seen this film. What's your thoughts on it? And as always, stay tuned because more reviews are coming to you very soon. Thank you for watching, folks.